This video will go over tips for searching Google quickly and effectively for your research assignments. So I would definitely suggest that you check out the websites that are highlighted on the Nursing 336 course guide, because those are kind of best bets that have been selected specifically for this assignment. But you're naturally going to want to take a look at Google too to see whether you can find anything else and possibly something more specific for your topic, because there are tons and tons and tons of websites out there where you can find credible health information on different topics. And we can't possibly list them all in one guide. So don't be afraid to search Google as well. So you'll probably come across Wikipedia pages and various news articles first, and those can be a really good place to start, especially when you're looking for that background information, trying to understand what your topic is all about. So don't shy away from those at first. Those can also be really good places to start to build your list of keywords and phrases that you're going to do more targeted searches on later. As you're searching, you might want to look for .gov or .org sites, but always keep an eye out for the possibility of bias. Even if something has a .org at the end of its address, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be perfectly credible or unbiased. You always want to be a little bit skeptical, especially if it's an organization that you're not familiar with. So you might try doing a side Google search on that organization to see if you can find any information about it. You want to look at the About Us page on their website. You want to try to get a sense of what is this organization or agency all about, and what are they trying to sell me on? Are they trying to convince me to take up a certain issue or platform or whatever? So always keep that in mind when you're searching. It might also be helpful to look out for things like reports or overviews or snapshots, especially if you're looking for statistics or data. You might come across raw data sets that have just raw data that have numbers that have been unprocessed, and you probably don't have the time or the statistical skills to be able to interpret those. But if you're looking for things like reports or overviews, then those are just going to give you general information, statistics that have already been processed and analyzed that you can use in your research. So anytime that you find something on a website, you can try to find out where that information came from. Hopefully, if you found a credible site, it will cite some sources where they found their information, and then you can go back to those original sources, both to fact check, make sure that they got the information right and that they're not taking it out of context, and also because it's always better to cite the original source rather than a second or third or fourth source if you can find it. You also want to pay attention to dates, because especially with policy, things can change very quickly. So if a new law was put into place in 2010, then something from 2005 might not be accurate anymore because it's looking at outdated information, whereas something from 2015 might look at the implications of that law being put into place. So you want to pay attention to the dates, and depending on the history of the issue that you're looking at, different date ranges might be appropriate. On the flip side of that, if you're looking for data, you might not be able to find something from this year or even from the last couple of years because it takes time to collect and analyze and publish data. So it's possible that the most recent thing that you would be able to find is a year or a couple of years old. And it's also good to keep in mind that it's really easy to misrepresent data and to kind of tweak data to make it say whatever you want it to say. So you always want to be checking your sources and trying to pay attention to whether the data that you're looking at is biased in any way. So keep these things in mind as